What is up, YouTube? On today's episode, I'm gonna show you how to go from this to this. So stay tuned to watch me drop in this Harbor Freight winch onto my Jeep TJ. So it is without a doubt that a winch is one of the best recovery upgrades you can add to your Jeep Wrangler. We haven't had one for a long time, although I have had some other recovery equipment like a shovel. I have this high lift jack on my hood. I have some straps, some recovery points. But now I get to add the real deal. I get to add a winch that I purchased from Harbor Freight. And this one is rated at 9,000 pounds. Now, the reason I chose this Harbor Freight winch is because everyone seems to love it and it's incredibly affordable. That's as much as there is to it. I've read that a lot of people complain about how slow it goes compared to some of the other brands, but to be honest with you, I'm not in a rush. I really don't anticipate myself using this all that much. It's just a nice add-on to have. So that's why I went with the Harbor Freight winch. Now, if I was going on some incredibly difficult trails and anticipating myself using this all day long, every day long, realistically, I probably would have gone with another brand like a Warn winch or something like that. But for my use, I think this is perfect and I hope I never need to use it. So reading off the box here, this is a 9,000 pound ZXR Badlands winch. It says full 9,000 pound pulling capacity, ideal for trucks, Jeeps, SUVs. Automatic load holding brake for maximum safety, 3-stage planetary gear system for first line speed, series wound motor stays cooler during long winch pulls, free spooling for fast line out. And it says battle tested on it, which I would love to know more information about. Maybe it was like they were trying to recover themselves and it turned into a battle because it stopped working. I'm not sure what that means, but that's totally fine. I'm excited to install this thing. It comes with a steel rope, 75 feet of it. I plan on switching that out to synthetic down the line, as well as going from the fair leads to just like the aluminum. So without further ado, let's unbox this thing. Seems pretty nicely packaged. Looks like it comes with a nice hefty manual. Right on. The remote control, which has a nice in-out toggle switch. Looks like we have a shackle. We'll figure this out in a couple seconds. Looks like the wiring, related to wiring. Nuts and bolts. They don't look like the best nuts and bolts, no problem. And looks like some black wiring. All right, and here is the meat of the winch. Looks like the red wiring as well as some other wires here. The fair leads. Pretty heavy stuff here. And of course, the actual winch itself. Here are some of the technical specs, including the line pull, wire rope capacity, speed, and amp draw. If you want to pause the screen and just take a look at these numbers, you can use that to compare other winches. The next page here shows you all of the hazards, dangers, cautions, notices and symbols that represent them. So in the following pages, they just have all these symbols everywhere. So this just shows you that this thing's not a toy. It can cut you, it can kill you. And that is one of the reasons why I'm gonna opt to eventually go synthetic and get rid of the fair lead as well, reducing weight and making it ever so safe. Here are the nuts and bolts that it comes with. There are a total of 4 of these G8s, 2 of these G2s. G8s are M12, 1.75 by 30 millimeter. The G8s are M10 by 1.50 by 25 millimeters. Those are for the fair leads, the 2, and then the 4 G8s are for the actual winch itself. So unfortunately, there's no way to mount this winch without removing the bumper. There's no way I can access the bottoms of these 2 front bolts. I guess I could drill holes in the front bumper, which I don't want to do it this time, so I'm going to go ahead and remove, which is kind of going to be a little more tedious, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to put the 2 back together, but I'll make it work somehow. So here's what I have to do. I have to remove my accessories, these lights, unclip the wires. Also have to remove my rock light, which I have mounted on the bottom of this bumper, not a problem. Then there's a total of 4 of these 3/4 bolts, and then there's the 2 sway bar bolts, which are size 15 mil. And then lastly, there's 2 T55 bolts holding it from the bottom. So I have air tools. It's gonna make this a lot faster, but I'm gonna hold back. I'll use hand tools just to demonstrate that it's very doable without any air tools. So let's get started. I don't know about you guys, but these sway bar bushing covers, they look terrible, especially contrasting to this black bumper that I just removed. So I'm gonna just remove this and put some bed liner on it and let that dry in the background while I install the winch and all the accessories. A little bit of engine degreaser. The beauty about bedline is it doesn't really care too much about like the normal perfect prep conditions, and like it could be a little dirty and it'll still hold on really well. So I'm kind of banking on that right now. Not really doing a whole lot to this. Now that it's had a few minutes, let's go ahead and spray it down. I don't have too much, hopefully I have enough. We are making some progress. Bumper is off the Jeep. I have the winch right over here, and the paint is drying over there on the sway bar and link bracket covers. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide in these nuts, these square nuts that come with the Harbor Freight kit. We're gonna slide them into each of the mounting positions. So I got the first one in, put the second one in. There you go. Time for the third one. And number 4. So I have the 4 bolts, and it's time to bolt it up to the bumper. Just a quick tip. Actually, before I bolt it up, one of the leads, the negative lead, is actually on the bottom. So I'm gonna wire that up now. I'm gonna just connect the lead now, so I don't have to worry about it later. So the negative terminal found on the bottom of the winch is gonna take a total of 2 wires. So go ahead and remove the nut. The first wire is gonna be the standalone black wire that came in the kit, and the second wire is this thin black one from the solenoid. So let's just go ahead and place these on. And we don't actually have to tighten the nut down all the way right now. We can always do that later. It's just a matter of getting this stuff on right now. Okay, now let's go ahead and try to manipulate this thing into place. Not going to be the easiest task, being one person here. It weighs about 70 pounds or so. Okay, all 4 are hand tight. Time to screw them all in. I believe the size we need for this one is a 16 mil. All 4 are tight. These have mostly dried. Getting impatient now. Just want to keep moving on. They're kind of wet still. It's okay. Adds to the rough look. If you're looking for like the perfect way to get everything done, then this channel is probably not for you. This is just like a reasonable way to get things done without while still like looking pretty decent, you know? Like this is not a bad way to do it, but it's not the perfect way to do it. It's a pretty tight fit here, so I prefer to use one of these U-joint attachments. So this is the part that is going to be very challenging. This thing weighs about 150 pounds. I'm by myself. Let's see how I'm going to get this done. Time to tighten everything down. All right, I was able to do it all by myself. If I could do it, maybe you can do it. Probably you can do it. Not the strongest person ever. So a couple steps left here. I'm gonna just walk you through it and then continue in fast pace. So what I have left to do is connect all the wiring. I'll walk you through each one by one. Reattach my headlights, add the fair lead, and reconnect my rock light. And that's it. Just a bit of wiring, couple nuts and bolts, but the heavy lifting is all done. I think it looks amazing. So I'm gonna start with the negative leads on the bottom. It's helpful to have a ratcheting wrench, but not totally necessary. Just make sure that's pretty tight. Looks like mine is, it's not going anywhere. The next one I'm gonna connect is gonna be this red positive wire, which is gonna connect to this terminal over here. So let me remove this. And I am using a 1/2 inch ratcheting wrench. Next up, there's one with a yellow head, and there's a nut. This one on the front, towards the front of the vehicle, has a yellow ring around it. All right, cinch that down. Lastly, we have a just regular black wire. This is also another short one. It's gonna go into the rear stud. All we have left is 2 wires. How exciting! I am down to the last 2 wires. This is what connects to the battery, black to black. Red is gonna get attached to a circuit breaker, which then will connect to the battery, and that's it. It's all done. It's so easy. It would be even easier if you don't have to paint your tie rod brackets as well as remove your front bumper. Arlene's JK we're able to add a winch to that without removing the front bumper. She doesn't really want one at this time, but time to wire these through. I'm gonna take this approach. I'm gonna go from this bottom corner right underneath the headlight where you see those wires running. It's gonna lead us up to the top. So let's go up there, see what happens. Time to connect the circuit breaker. I ran the wires in a way that makes sense for my application, just right from underneath the headlights. There's 2 studs on this. One side is labeled battery. So connect this wire to the side that does not say battery, and we will be on our way. Gonna be removing the negative off the whole terminal off the battery now. Now I'm gonna remove the positive. It is time to attach the circuit breaker to the red terminal. I'm gonna also pass a couple more wires through this pre-existing wires. Gonna be connecting the black prong directly to the black stud over there. Battery is all connected. All I have left to do is to attach the fair lead. Here's the remote that comes with it. I just want to see if I wired it correctly, if it works. Let's see here. Also have to screw that down. So let's see here. It is engaged. Cool, it's working. That's all I care about. Gonna just tuck away some of these wires with zip ties. Gonna just connect them all to each other, make it a little more neat and presentable. Using a shorty Phillips, gonna just screw on the solenoid. There's a total of 2 of these screws. There are shorties and then there are shorties. Gonna need a shorty on this one. Right on, fit right in. Time to install the fair lead with 2 3/4 inch bolts that are also included. Time to reattach these front lights. Alright, gonna plug this guy back in, put some gloves on and spool it in. I installed my rock lights, my fog lights. So I got this winch installed completely by myself in under a couple of hours. I didn't need any special tools, didn't use air tools, did everything by hand. I think it's a great winch. I mean, it's pretty easy to install. Like I said, I'm gonna switch out this cable down the line. And other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, hope I never have to use it. Definitely something you can do at home. This is not that difficult. If you can do an oil change, you can probably do this yourself as well. Now, just wanna reiterate this. We like to give away stuff on our channel. So if you enjoyed watching this DIY install as well as tips and tricks, then please subscribe to our channel. We gave a set of headlights away in October. We're gonna give another set of headlights away. We have off-road lights that we're gonna give away, and we'll try to give away more and more stuff as we grow. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments below.